Now, worries around the cost of living, something that never goes away, whatever's going on elsewhere in the world. This week saw the start of another government payment round. Now, it's easy to lose track of exactly what's going on, so exactly what assistance is available. Here's Emily Hudson.
People on universal credit, income support and pension credit have already had a £301 payment from the government. This second payment is for £300 and will be sent automatically to those who qualify in the next few weeks. Last year, everyone got £400 off their energy bills, but there's no general payment this winter. There is the normal winter fuel payment for pensioners, though, up to £600. And nearly 3 million low-income households will get a £150 rebate on their electricity bills. That's the warm home discount. You'll get a letter by January if you're eligible. And if the temperature is 0 or below for more than 7 days this winter, eligible households will be given a £25 a week extra cold weather payment. The Household Support Fund. This is money given to local councils to distribute, aimed at the most vulnerable. You don't have to be getting benefits to get this, but you will have to apply.
Right, joining me now, Trisha Bennett from Whitley Community Development Association in Reading. Hello, Trisha.
Hiya, Peter.
How are we doing with the cost of living? I mean, inflation's coming down a bit. Are people that you're seeing as worried as they have been?
Yes, I think they're as worried, if not even more worried. We're seeing an awful lot of people having to claim for the first time, and that's really frightening. We run 3 benefit sessions a week with the support of 3 different local charities in Reading, and we're having to turn people away. So we're increasing the number of sessions. I think that's partly because people now realise there's a place they can go to get help, because there's an awful lot of people out there who are no doubt entitled to benefits but don't know where to start. And I was thinking about this and thinking it's about how to claim, having the time to claim and being proud, because just because you're poor doesn't mean you're not proud. And there's an awful lot of we're hardworking people. We shouldn't have to claim benefits. And where do we go to start?
Yeah.
How do we start that system?
And I guess that shortage of money creeps up on you. You hope things are going to get better next week, next month. And maybe, as you say, having time. Are the forms, are there barriers? Are those difficulties? Could that be easier for people?
Yes, I think it could. And certainly a lot of the people we deal with are people who find the whole system, filling the forms, a menagerie. We had one lady come in this week who had help from Welfare Rights just to get her £125 or whatever. Took 2 hours of a specialist advisor helping her complete the forms. She doesn't have an email address. She doesn't have a laptop. And you know, for £125, it's really quite frightening, the hoops she had to jump through. So
apart from coming to see you, what else should people, what could be done to make this better?
Making it easier for people, having more access to support. Not everybody's able to do it. Having places people can come to get that support. Not encouraging people not to feel guilty, not to be worried about feeling that they're means tested. People are really, really anxious. Sadly, the benefits culture has a bit of a reputation for being, oh yeah, you're that kind of person if you're on benefits. That's just not the case. We've got, with our surplus food now, I looked today, 1/3 of the people who come to us for surplus food are in work. They're coming to top up because they can't afford their shopping bills. Yes. And when you start to have a conversation, they don't even know they're entitled to benefits.
And it must be difficult when you see them hesitate at the door. What do you do to make people feel comfortable?
We're just really chatty. We're very approachable. That's one of the things everybody says, what a warm welcome. It's not, you know, there's nothing, everybody can go to the surplus table. People come in, people see people they recognise. It's a real community thing. It's not like walking into somewhere officious or strange. And I think that's what makes the difference. People feel okay about telling you why they're where they are.
Any signs that things might get better? I suppose it's, you know, there's some wages are going up, aren't they?
I think they're going up, but it's interesting because in the last few days there's been a report on the BBC about in Reading the cost of rental accommodations getting higher and higher, and a lot of external people are coming into Reading and having these properties pushing the price up. So if no other benefit, people are having to get housing benefit because they can't pay their rents. Yeah. So that's, you know, a roof over your head's the basic, and if you can't get anywhere that you can afford, you immediately fall into the benefit system, and then the spiral just goes round and round.
Right. And people are missing out on those benefits. Jason, what can be done there then, do you think, to make sure that it is claimed?
It's a phenomenally difficult situation overall, isn't it? And we do a lot of work to raise the profile around things, to raise the profile around our household support fund. But it's really great to have people like Trisha on the programme, because organisations like hers, and there are others across Reading and across the whole of the South and across the country, who are doing phenomenal work, engaging with people. And often you need that sort of friendlier face, because being confronted when you're in difficult financial circumstances, maybe you're in debt to a council. It's quite difficult sometimes to go and interact directly with that organisation. And so having a body like WCDA is an absolute godsend for us, because it allows us to work with partners who can then engage with people in a much softer way, which can often yield much better results over the longer term.
When you're engaging on the national stage, Donna, people often look at the south of England as not so needing help in general. But sometimes it's more difficult when you haven't got enough money in an area where other people do have and prices are high.
And I think the point that Trisha's made there around the pride, particularly more people than ever before now seeking support and food from food banks and help to fill in benefits who've never claimed benefits before, as Trisha has said. You're right, though, living here in the southeast of England, you know, that rental price inflation that Trisha's just mentioned means that people here have got less money, therefore, then to spend on food and clothing and heat and warmth, which are basic necessities for any family, particularly elderly people who feel the cold more, who can get unwell much quicker if they're in a cold property, a damp property. It is a real concern. You know, obviously we've seen the benefits package from the government. We know that we are just about to go into 2/3 of the way of those £300 payments.
Pretty complicated, that whole setup.
I mean, that was really good feedback, and I'm going to take that back after hearing. And thank goodness we've got people like Trisha in our communities who are doing what they're doing. But yes, I mean, we have seen a very unique support package. Forms and government audit trails are always a pain, but we do need to do what we can to break down barriers.
You're sympathetic here, but you know, for many years, and Conservative politicians have led the charge here, people have talked about cracking down on benefits and people shouldn't be claiming too much. That's done some damage, hasn't it?
I think there's a difference between people who genuinely help and support and those who were choosing not to work, who were choosing a life on benefits, who were of working age. But actually, this country has always had a massive heart when it comes to helping those that need it. So if you have got, for example, young families, mothers, people who are not earning enough but working and need that top up from the income support, elderly people who perhaps didn't make provision for their pension back 50, 60, 70 years ago when they were working, they are now feeling the pinch of that. So actually looking after those that need help and support, that's something this country does tremendously well.
Do you think this scroungers narrative is a problem?
I think it's a really dangerous narrative, that there are good people on benefits and there are bad people on benefits, and we can somehow separate the two. The world is a really complex place. You know, and people struggle, and sometimes they struggle without having any sense that they might have to be claiming benefits in just a few months' time. Think back to 2010, you wouldn't probably have heard of a food bank. And yet now we have hospitals that are setting them up because there are nurses on universal credit who can't afford food for themselves and their families. I mean, this is really fundamentally a broken system in need of massive reform.
Right. I mean, we have one of the things that's been coming through are these apps, so that you can Too Good to Go, I think, is one of them. Oh, you're shaking your head at this. They're taking some of the food you used to get cheap. Trisha.
Yeah, absolutely. They're taking a lot of the food that we used to get cheap. And I think there's an issue. Everybody likes a bargain. And unfortunately, the more mobile and articulate and whatever, they can pop out. One of you, if there's two adults in the household, one can pop round for the magic bag or the late night pizza or whatever. You can't do that if you're a single mum. You depend on coming to us in the morning, and we haven't got the food to give out because it's already gone to someone who liked to bargain potentially. And I think
that makes you a bit angry. I can see it.
It does, makes me really angry. I think some of these people, though, are maybe only a step away from actually needing benefits themselves. It is sometimes to look for how can we cut corners. You know, every time we work on this stuff with the university, with food research, people are saying, all your ideas are great, but the bottom line is how much will it cost? Because we shop with what's in our purse, not with what we think's good or what we know is good for us or what we would like to eat. It's what we can afford to eat. And that's shocking. And I looked this morning at the unclaimed benefit statistics. So we need to do an awful lot of work still to encourage people that it's okay to claim.
And maybe make the pride point, but also the simplicity, as you put it. Thanks for joining us on the programme. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Thank you.